If you want to change yourself, you must elevate yourself to a level where you can think. Ayurveda is based mainly on immune boosters. It doesn't talk about treatment. It just says, just boost your immune system. And that's exactly what we should be doing. And all these things boost our immune system. There's a thing called Ayurvedic Panchakarmas, rejuvenating therapy. You would be surprised. You feel so fine if you went through that. It's a very simple thing. But of course, there are a lot of charlatans now selling it in 5-star hotels and various other chalets in India. That's not the true Panchakarma. But scientific Panchakarma makes you feel at least 10 to 20 years younger. Fruits and vegetables have been the basis of Ayurvedic medicines. Hyperimmune vaccinations, Ayurveda, exercise, etc., etc. They're not very important. Now, in the human body, in the non-linear system, there are various rhythms that run the system. One is called the circadian rhythm. Circa is approximately 24 hours. Things that happen once in 24 hours. Like you sleep, you wake up, and various things happen, your hormone secretion, etc., etc. There are what are called ultradian rhythms that happen many times in a day. Like you piss maybe 4 or 5 times, maybe 10 times. You probably go to the toilet and pass motion maybe once. There are people who pass 5 times, both are normal. And these are all called ultradian rhythms. There's one rhythm which is beyond 24 hours. That's called the infradian rhythm. That happens in a woman who menstruates once in 28 days. Now, all the rhythms which are circadian, ultradian are controlled by the dominant rhythm called breathing. This is the essence of prana ayama. Prana is breath or life. Ayama is movement. Prana ayama. So you can control all rhythms in the body which are circadian, including your hormone secretion, your heart, your breathing, everything, plus all the ultradian rhythms, but not the infradian rhythm. Because Ayurveda said, Kujendu Hetu Pratima Sartavam. Every month a woman menstruates once in 28 days because of the gravitational force of the moon. We laughed at it. We laughed at it. 2003, American Journal of Physiology says a beautiful study which showed that it's the gravitational pull of the moon that stimulates the cortical cells, which in turn go through the pineal body down to the gonads, and the woman menstruates. What a fascinating thing. That's why I once wrote, don't go against nature, because HRT, hormone replacement therapy, is terribly anti-nature. I wrote it 10 years ago, and hormone replacement therapy has killed more people, millions maybe, not more people. More people is not the right word. Now I'll show you how breathing changes your heart's function. Now this is the lungs on the sides. Now this is your ECG, right? If you look at the ECG, your doctor will say, oh, you're a normal ECG. Now if you look at that, there are a lot of parts where there is no electrical activity in the heart at all, which means you're dead. Then you can't have even a fraction of a second without electrical activity. If you want to really see your ECG, it looks something like this. This is the heart rate variability. What I have done in the study is, I put the heart rate in the x-axis and with a microsecond difference on the y-axis, your own heart rate. And if you go on breathing, you see your heart rate goes on moving. This is the healthy chaos of normal arrhythmia. Rhythmia is not health, arrhythmia is health. Now I'll show you another thing. Now this is lot of have ectopic beats. You know, when you stand up to speak to an audience, you say, I have butterflies in stomach. Butterflies are ectopic beats. And we doctors have been treating this with very poisonous drugs. They are not to be treated because it's still healthier. The chaos is still better. But look at this. Now this is dangerous. This is a patient whose heart rate does not vary at all with the breathing. And this patient died 3 hours after this was recorded. This was a patient with an extreme congestive cardiomyopathy of coronary artery disease. Now what we have done over the years, we have been able to do a CWT, continuous wavelet pattern transform. This is a very complicated mathematical thing. The same thing that I showed you as a dot, now I have spread it as a 3-dimensional picture. So if you can breathe into my computer, I can tell you whether every cell in your heart is working normally or not. When you have a chaos like that, you see that those blobs there, various color blobs, that means health. Now you see this is ectopic beat, there's still health at the back. Now see this is a kind of disease we call as sick sinus syndrome, a very healthy thing, nothing to worry. Now this is dangerous. Here there is rhythm, that irregularity has gone, regularity has come. This is a dangerous thing. This patient was seriously ill and didn't live long. Now we did it, pranayama studies on patients in a yoga institute in Bombay, and we found that all parameters of heart's function improve with 4-vessel coronary artery disease who were told in the hospital that without bypass surgery they'll die in 3 months. They're all alive 5 years later. And not only that, their hearts are absolutely normal now. So we did this study and followed it up and showed that it really works even with the conventional reductionist parameters. Now, modern medicine has failed and failed miserably. I will show you only a few things. The Institute of Medicine report in the United States of America said that the first cause of death in the United States of America is heart attack. Second, cancer. Third, doctors and hospitals. And fourth, the adverse drug reactions of the drugs that doctors prescribe. Fifth, then stroke, and so on and so forth. And in this country with 250 million people, on an average 350,000 people die annually because of doctors' interventions and the drug interactions. Now, the third thing, doctors went on strike in Israel a couple of years ago for 3 months. They were not working at all, and there were no private doctors in Israel. And then, of course, somebody brokered peace between the government and the doctors, and they came back. And when they came back, audit showed the death rate had fallen precipitously in every city during the strike period, only to come up to its original level, overshoot it when they came back to work. And do you know who brokered peace? Can you guess? Morticians brokered peace. Their coffins were not sold at all. That's the truth. And the British Medical Journal has written a beautiful editorial. Doctors going on strike will definitely improve society's health. Now, somebody said, okay, we have more doctors, there will be less problems. There is no link between the size of the doctors and the health of society. As a matter of fact, the largest number of doctors are in Italy, and the lowest is in Japan. And the health-wise, Japan is the best, Italy is the last among the 14 industrialist countries seen. Now, Dr. Larry Dossey was telling about the checkups. Now, see this prospective study. It's a very beautiful study. 5,000 people were divided into 2 matched groups, and one group was checked up every 3 months religiously at free costs. And the other group was told, do what you like. And at the end of 5 years, there was hardly any difference between the death rate in the 2 groups. After 10 years, the intervened group had twice the death rate due to all diseases. At the end of 20 years, 3 times more people died in the intervened group, where every parameter, so-called parameter, was corrected by the doctors. The others didn't do anything. Next. Now, a lot of people say if your blood pressure is slightly on the higher side, as a matter of fact, now they are bringing it down and down and down. It was 160 by 110. It has come to now 110 by 75. And that's supposed to be the normal now. Now, look at that. For the first 3 years, nothing happens to you. Beyond that, beautifully treated people have 3 times more death and complications than people who have not taken drugs and compared to their normotensive cousins in society. Now, very new concept has come in. This is a very important thing which Dr. Dossey was talking about, the multiple sclerosis concept. The whole group of diseases called the autoimmune diseases. That is, your own body cells think you are foreign and try to attack you. This is called the concept of horror autotoxicus. Paul Ehrlich 2 centuries ago said, my God, what happens if the antibodies attack you? And now they think the antibodies attack you because you have the self and non-self concept. You become so selfish, you cocoon yourself and think everything else is different. No, the real concept is all are mine. All, this is exactly what Ayurveda says. Aptopasevi bhavet arogyam. If you treat everyone in this whole world as your near and dear ones, health will be yours for the asking. And what spoils health? Krodha, shoka, bhaya, ayasa, viruddhanna bhojana, taponnalan, katva, amla, kshara, lavana, tikshnoshnati, raktapitta prakopet. Hatred, jealousy, greed, anger, pride. And all these things kill you. And they kill you very, very seriously and badly. Now we know the most important risk factor for heart attacks is hostility, destructive hostility. Even students in Johns Hopkins, young students, were given a hostility score diary and every 3 months scanned with the PET scanner, and they found higher the hostility score, the quicker the damage to the coronary vessels. As young as 18 years. You would be surprised, American soldiers in the Vietnam War, 100 of them after death they were scanned, and they found 76% of them had pre-vessel disease. Their age was 22, average age. Antibiotics have done so much of havoc that in Britain now, we prescribe maggots for wounds healing. Maggots are given, cultured maggots in packets, patient's wound is healed up, and then he's told, go home, every day put maggots on that, 3rd day the wound has healed. Gangrene treatment. Now, the multiple drug resistant germs have become so dangerous that many hospitals have to close down their operation theaters because they can't operate. These germs cannot be killed by the 500 molecules of antibiotics. Antibiotics are anti-nature. You try to kill a germ, the germ mutates. And we are back to the basics. Now see, work done in this country has shown that ginger and garlic put together are the most powerful antiviral drugs. Honey, locally and inside, beautiful drug. Indian spices like pepper probably is the best thing. After 50 years of research in the Colindale Cold Research Center, the last paper before they closed down the center said, for cold, we cannot do any improvement. Go and eat Indian spices. The future is for integrated medicine. And leave the well alone. Don't interfere. You know, Hutchison was a great physician of the last century who said, God, give me deliverance from A, treating human beings as cases, B, making my intervention worse than his disease, and 3, not letting the well alone. Yoga and health, probably somebody will talk more about it. Power of prayer, Dr. Dossi has already. And never predict the future. Never predict the future of your patient. I think it's a $1 million question if I've understood the question well. There are some situations where the modern medical interventions are absolutely necessary. Let's say I fall under the car on a road. I can't be doing yoga and saying that I'll get better. I'll have to be fixed up probably at that time. But what I also stressed in the meantime was our own interventions in the intensive therapy units have also been audited to find that we overdo things. So a judicious mix of what is best in the various systems, because no system is complete in itself for the simple reason that human beings are imperfect. So you can't have a perfect system of modern medicine, you can't have a perfect system of Ayurveda, you can't have a perfect system of Qigong or what have you. But then there are such a lot of good things, and what we should do is we should take the chaff from the wheat and throw the chaff out and eat the wheat only. And that's what's called integrated future course. That's what I was trying to understand. There are certain situations where it's inevitable, but by and large, the so-called situations where modern medicine is inevitable is less than 5% of the population. Today, what do? We apply the same gadgets for 100%, and that's where counterproductive things happen. Thank you.